Hello, this is your Express briefing for Monday, September 9th. From the San Antonio Express News, I'm Joy Marie Scott. Become a subscriber and read more of these headlines at expressnews.com. Hearings begin today to determine whether Janine Jones, accused of murder in the deaths of 5 San Antonio children in the 1980s, is competent to stand trial. In sports, we'll award our Game Balls and Player of the Week nods in high school football and volleyball. Expect partly cloudy skies and a high of 95. Camp Bullis' building 5107 dining hall probably should have been replaced years ago. The complex was set to be razed next year until President Trump stepped in. Trump siphoned money from the Pentagon to pay for a border wall. The new 35,000 square foot facility in the works for more than a decade was one of 127 projects totaling $3.6 billion that were deferred for 115 miles of wall on the U.S.-Mexico border. There's no way to know if the new facility will ever be built. Joint Base San Antonio, which oversees logistics for Camp Bullis, is expected to lobby Congress to restore funding. The sheriff was shopping. The mayor was attending a college football game. The police chief was wrapping up a birthday celebration, and the news director was napping. What could have been a lazy 3-day Labor Day weekend with government agencies understaffed turned into terror in West Texas. Seth Ader aimed his assault-style rifle through his car's back window, striking State Trooper Chuck Pryor near the edge of Midland. That sparked a 64-minute path of horror as Ader killed 7 and wounded nearly 24 during a 15-mile chase in Odessa and Midland after a traffic stop. Julian Castro, Senator Kamala Harris, and Senator Elizabeth Warren are among the Democratic presidential hopefuls to propose major funding boosts to historically black colleges and universities. Those plans, headlined by Harris's $60 billion proposal, will be in the spotlight at Thursday's debate at Texas Southern University in Houston. The efforts are all part of the candidates' strategies to court black voters. HBCUs represent just 3% of colleges in the nation, but award 17% of all bachelor's degrees earned by black students, despite being historically underfunded. Fewer Americans are moving to Texas. What does that mean for the state's economy? Texas is still one of the fastest-growing states in the country, but the number of people moving to the Lone Star State has shrunk significantly since 2015. Since 2016, the share of population growth in Texas from people moving to the state is half of what it was previously. From 2016 to 2018, Bexar County added an average of 10,520 people annually from domestic migration. Nearly a quarter fewer people per year than the previous 5 years. That's left employers already grappling with historically low unemployment rates in an even tougher position. Consider a subscription to the Express News, the voice of South Texas since 1865. Just 95 cents for the first month, a digital subscription helps support our work covering San Antonio and South Texas. You'll get access to all our stories on expressnews.com. Join us at expressnews.com/subscribe. In other news to know today, Greg Brockhouse tried to trigger an internal investigation into a leaked, expunged police report days after losing the mayoral runoff. San Antonio Park Police and airport police officers filed a lawsuit against the city seeking the same pay and benefits as San Antonio Police Department officers. USAA is ensnared in another lawsuit over its car buying website. Authenticity is a complicated issue in the 2020 presidential race. This is the topic of writer Gilbert Garcia's latest column. A San Antonio federal lawsuit alleges thousands of retirees, veterans, and disabled people who received federal benefits through Direct Express prepaid debit cards were fraud victims whose claims were routinely denied. Sports columnist Mike Finger writes, moments in the national spotlight for Texas and Texas A&M suggest they may not need each other after all. And now the fun stuff. In San Antonio and South Texas, now is the time to spread wildflower seed over areas where you want them to bloom next spring. There are some exceptions, but most wildflowers need to be planted in full sun in a situation where there is bare soil so the wildflower seed can make contact with the soil. It doesn't work to spread the seed in an area where grass is growing thickly or there is a deep layer of weeds. It's also time to start thinking about your fall vegetable garden. Calvin Finch shares his advice at expressnews.com. And no beef is no problem at Earth Burger, San Antonio's vegan-based burger stand. Food writer Chuck Blount says the two Northside locations make solid neighborhood options in his latest review for the 52 Weeks of Burger series. And visit Express News for the full story on all of these headlines and more. And that's your Express Briefing for Monday, September 9th. Get San Antonio's top news headlines daily. Subscribe on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. For the San Antonio Express News, I'm Joy Marie Scott.